So when the mother picked your mate for you, you thinking that you going wherever you going looking for a woman that you picking her. No, she's not going to pay you any attention unless your mother give her the call through the heart chakra. Some of them is just training and some of them is the real deal. And you won't never know until you wake all the way up, and then you can read the signs that told you who's who and what's what.
So when we going about picking our mates, how would you advise the brothers and sisters of a methodology that may be in line with something that's more, proper to do as improper to do?
The easiest thing to tell them is don't look for her, she'll come find you. And you will know when she finds you because you will feel something that you didn't feel before. I don't look for women, but they find me at the right time. And like I tell them, if you see me sitting across the couch from you, that's not no accident.
But you tell them that ain't no accident.
No, because I don't have a regular conversation. I don't have a regular approach, and I ain't the regular nigga. So if you see yourself sitting across the couch from me, that's some motherfucking high rank shit right there. You a bad motherfucker.
Boy, you hell. Rod Hayes, y'all. Rod Hayes back in the building, giving it up once again. So, all right, so let's go here. Out of all of the years that Pops have been doing all of this, and out of all of the people who have come along the path to be practitioners of the protocols in the Wabu, how many of those in the community are still left that's still aware in this capacity?
I couldn't tell you that answer right there, because I do know this. All of the ones that was living off Baba without his consent, they got an answer for that shit. All the ones who thought they was going to steal the scrolls and write their own version of it and get away with that shit, they got an answer for that shit, but they don't got an answer to me. And Pops might send them to a motherfucker with zero mercy. If he send you to somebody with zero mercy, a dreaded judge, a Judge Dredd, and you did that shit, you might lose your head. Literally. This is the cleanup. All of the dirty motherfuckers has got to get cleaned up.
Damn, that's some gang shit. Like, that's how the brothers in the streets look at it. Remember
Farrakhan did a speech talking to the gangs and told them how the fuck how y'all gonna be the army of the righteous and y'all killing each other?
Right.
Y'all the army of the righteous, the Crips, the Bloods, the Vice Lords, the Blackstones, the GDs, the BDs, the Four Corner Hustlers, the MS-13, the Locos, the Latin Kings, the Latin Counts. Y'all the army of the righteous. That ain't no mistake. That's not by accident. We the tribes, we the clans from the land, on the land, and we didn't even know that we was being turned against each other by foreign forces. Now we know. And this shit ain't working no more. When you see Baba, you're going to see Chapo with him. You're going to see Larry Hoover with him. You're going to see Jeff Ford with him. They all coming. All of the ones that you're going to see people that you thought was dead, they going to be coming with Baba. So all of the ones out there that think that they, we Sabians now, and we don't have to listen to what Pop's saying from in there, he's still writing scrolls, you silly asses.
They said that, some people said that basically that Pop sanctioned the Sabians, but I've been instructed.
I don't care what they say. The only one can tell me who he sanctions is him. So when he get home, we gonna have this conversation in private in family business. This is a family business thing between the Sabians and the Nuwapian nation, and the final motherfucking mallet drop with Malachi York. The rest of them can say he sanctioned this and he sanctioned that. All that he said, she said shit go out the window when you got the man in your face.
Yeah.
Because when you ask him, okay, when did I sanction that? Did you got it in writing or did I tell you on the phone? Because if I told you on the phone, the Department of Corrections got it recorded. If I said it in writing, I can tell you if it's my handwriting.
Right. That part.
So that don't have nothing to do with me. I don't have to clean nobody's house up. I just got to tell you who the leader of the house is.
Right.
So all of the dirty Moors, they got to answer Angel Bay, and he not happy.
Ooh.
He been locked up over damn near 50 years like Larry. Ain't now one of them happy. I don't have to clean that shit up. They got the grand governing body of the Moors, know exactly what I'm talking about. The dirty Moors is all on file with the grand body from motherfucking the community complaining to the grand body. Who is this grand sheik over here stealing our money? They
Damn.
know. I don't have to clean that shit up. I just had to tell y'all they came in as conquistadors, 32 degrees Scottish Rite Freemasons under the Albert Pike motherfucking morals and dogma, and they changed George Washington so that you don't know that the George Washington was the Albert Pike and that they're the same motherfucker, and that's the way they can change the Constitution and move the Constitution. They can move the Constitution from Philadelphia, which was the capital east of the Appalachian Mountains, of that territory, which was separate from everything west of the Appalachians. And then when they crossed the Appalachian Mountains, then they violated the motherfucking ordinances that allowed them to settle on the east coast of the states. When they did that, they've done that under the Louisiana Purchase when they sent Lois and Clark, and Big Ben Bay was their translator, and they sent them across the land to go inspect the castles, and found out we wasn't there because we was all fighting guerrilla wars in the land of the flowers we call Florida. But back then it was the whole southeastern United States, what we call Georgia, Arkansas, North and South Carolina, and all of that was the land of flowers, but they reduced it to what we could see today as Florida. And the capital down there was Mar-a-Lago, but we don't know none of this shit about our history. So they gonna have to answer to who they got to answer to. I'm just telling y'all who the dirty motherfuckers was.
Word, because that's where I live at. I live in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm originally from Jersey, but I grew up in the Brooklyn pad. And I live down here, and Pop's got roots down here. He sent us down here to run the bookstores, and I don't really, deal with a lot of the people that's still in the bookstore. It's different, and I've been instructed not to even speak on it. But, yeah, man, it's been a good session, huh?
Yeah, like I said, that's family business. Baba gonna straighten it out when he get home, and all of the dirty players bend over and kiss your ass goodbye right now. You know who they is.
Yeah.
Look, when Enlil made his move for Earth, you remember they changed the name of Nibiru to Marduk, right?
Right.
Baba was the Marduk sent to claim Nibiru to keep Enlil from sending his kids to sack Nibiru when he attacked the Earth.
Right.
He had his son Marduk. Enlil had a son named Marduk, named after Baba, who he called from minding his own business, doing his God shit somewhere else, because it's his son. He pulled rank on him and said, "We finna take Earth." His Enlil's son Marduk didn't want to be here in the first goddamn place, but because his father got caught up in this light lock and he had to come down here and hold the reins, Baba had to go secure Nibiru. We on Earth knew when Nibiru was secure when they changed the name. Now we can go to war.
Got you. So it's funny. I'm gonna ask you your take on this, because my mother actually gave me the attribute of Messiah Nanorta Naya Almaty. So could you explain to people who Nanorta was?
I think that's your job.
Well, I know, but I don't. The elders got me on strictly language, so I don't explain doctrine. That's why I call you. I don't teach doctrine.
Well,
all
look,
I teach is the Wabic. That's the instructions and the assignment I've been given, and I'm sticking to it.
So you remember Baba say when Sananda come, he gonna tell you what the name means?
Uh-huh.
Right. So it's one of those scenarios. That's something that when you teach the language, it's gonna come up, and you're gonna have to elaborate on it more.
Got you. Well, I know what it means because it's my name. So
I know. And Sananda means divine love.
Yep. So
Tressie say interesting about protocols. Was just reading over the protocols out of the Cape Town Convention System and the new territory or the new treaties protocols. Not familiar with them documents she's talking about.
basically, I've been reaching a lot of women, basically. Like most of the participants, matter of fact, another sister just reached out to me yesterday. She wanted to do some private classes in Nuwabic. It seems like more of the sisters are actually coming over to taking the language serious than the men.
Remember earlier when I said that you was asking about the sisters that wanted to study the Nuwapic before they get in, the Nuwabu before they go to Nuwapic, and I said the sisters is once they realize what it is going to be the ones flocking to the language first.
Yep, you definitely said that.
Yeah, so it just ties back in to what was already said. So the women got a women's intuition that's so underrated, and most women neglect it because the system tell them if they listen to their intuition, they crazy. So they ignore their intuition. No, don't ignore that shit. You can save your life and your loved ones by listening to it. And for a wise man, know the difference between when she intuitively telling you something and when she's controllingly telling you something, because they don't mean the same thing.
Give an example.
If you don't know your woman well enough to know when she's giving you something from the intuition, which is pure, unfiltered spirit information. And when she tell it to you, her expression different, her tone is different, her body language is different. You got to learn that language of listening to the woman, because she gonna save your fucking life.
So explain to the brothers a little bit more in depth about that so that they'll be able to assess, because I've also had another brother who's been in the community. He hasn't lived in the community, but he's been a part of the community for some years. And every time he calls me, he's having problems with his mate as far as, her relating to the information and the culture and stuff.
Look, if he's doing his part and she see him as stable and focused on his goals, all of her resistance and her support of him is going to fade. But if he's unstable emotionally and he's unstable about pursuing his goal, she's going to be unstable in her support. She can't support an unstable building. Absolutely. He the building. He is the building. All of the men we are the Solomon, the soul of man that the temple was being built for. We the temples. She can't support you. So the women is the ones actually sending the good men to teach the good boys how to be good men. And they sending all of the bad boys that ain't gonna never amount to nothing to learn from bad men how to hurry up and destroy themselves so they can get that shit over with.
Get them out the way, so to speak.
Yeah. So Christ the Great Silver Tree say, can you explain the Great Wall of China and why was it built? I actually went over that in one of my lives, and I was talking about, it might have been with Young Elder, but Enlil opened a portal to a mirror dimension to get a being that we call the Great Dragon Bitch. And when she came with hordes, and they didn't look like us. The Great Wall was to have it's just like the movie The Great Wall with Tom Cruise, only they didn't look like the ones in the movie. They looked like she had wings. She was about 9 feet tall, and she was a biped lizard humanoid thing. She the one who was executed in 2018 living under the Vatican. Inanna came back to personally execute her. I wanted to do it, but shit. Anyway, the Great Wall was built to fight them and harness them into a ravine that we could fight them off. When we started killing them, they started being born looking like melanated humans. The only problem was that they couldn't and still can't breed with us if they wanted them. They can't have children with us. They can only have babies with each other. And they chromosomes is backwards to ours. And they females look male and they males look female. That's why he done it, because he wanted to usurp the throne. And if you even look at the word usurp, it means to go under something. And if you look under the Vatican, it's a whole, what they call throne room to so-called the dragon bitch, the great archon. That's what they talking about when they talk about the archons. They talking about the ones he opened the portal to allow in. When you look in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, he called them the Dark Brothers that he got rid of once, but somebody opened the portal and let him back in. And that he would come back in a distant age in order to get rid of them. Well, this is a distant age, and they getting the fuck out of here. And I don't care where they go, but they can't stay here.
Say they can't stay here, huh?
No.
So I was reading some of the comments. Can you explain the difference between the Adamites and the Atumites?
Phonetics. The Adama is where the Adamites come from. And they talk about those who was organic from the earth. Atum was the father of Adam, which is a whole species of what we call Hindus. That's a whole nother bloodline on earth.
Absolutely. So we right now everybody's waiting on Baba to come home so that Pops could actually get us back in tune with the things that we need to be actually doing, which a lot of us like such as brothers like yourself and Rod Hayes, the fourth elder, Brother Love, my mentor, are already doing. What do you want to tell the people that out there that's wondering or confused? What do you think that we can expect, if you can elaborate on that, when the master teacher actually get back?
We already told y'all. All of the ones that's frauds is going to be put on the spot for their fraud. All of the ones that's thieves is going to be put on the spot for their theft. Look, there's a lot of people that's not people that look like people. Everything that look human ain't human.
Oh, I already know.
A lot of these things that look like us ain't us. They are infiltrated at every level of our societies. We know who they all is now, but it took us a long time to know who they are, what they did. Right? We didn't used to take on human form. That's why the human bones only go back so far in the fossil record. We used to incarnate and disincarnate, going up and down the ascension ladder, and we would come to Earth to experience a 3D polarized reality. And then we would ascend back up, and then we would come back down. There was no such thing as death. Right? We didn't know what death was. Death is a construct created in order to instill fear in us. All it is they collapsed the fourth dimension into the third dimension when we incarnated to get them off the planet, to trap us on the planet. So it was all science. And the science was used in conjunction with conjure in order to trap us in Kingu, the sleep state, or the Kali Yuga, which was artificially induced by one of Enlil's sons, who they call Zuin or Humbaba, who stole the scrolls of destiny, who manifested as Alexander, who went into India to get the scroll of governments to rule the earth.
Right, I remember that because one of the things when I was younger, I used to ask my mother about why was that one of my attributes, and she always referred me to the story of them sending the Nordica to go to Zuin to fight the war to get the Tablet of Destinies back and bring it back to the Anunnaki. And the Nordica was considered to be the warrior and the brave one that actually performed attacks or went on the assignment.
Mm-hmm. So we was all dispatched to different parts of the planet. The elders. And when the elders was dispatched to different parts of the planet, everybody had to find a piece of the puzzle to put this shit back together at the close of the age. And here we are putting this puzzle together.
Right. Reliving it. So another question in here is, explain vibration and frequency and the difference and its importance. I think you already went over the importance, but I guess this is a definition question. The definition of frequency and the definition of vibration and how we should interpret those words.
Okay, so frequency is predicated upon points of peaked vibration or sound. It's like a oscillation. Every peak, the level of peaks determines the frequency, which when you trace the word frequency back is how frequent or often, or it's a consistent rate of oscillation. That's the frequency. The vibration is the thing which has the frequency. And the vibration is the movement of the energy. So you measuring the energy by its frequency, and then by knowing the frequency, you know what the vibration is, or the rate in which this energy comes into 3D reality. It's like measuring brain waves. They all got a different frequency, and they all on a different, so it's like a radio. You got a whole bunch of radio stations, and you can change the dial to a different frequency in order to get a different channel. Every frequency has a different channel, and there's a different broadcast coming on every channel.